Hello, this video is going to go more into when Elijah came. In my other video, I broke down, what the Most High was showing me, and I told y'all I was gonna bring some verses out to show y'all what he's been showing me. And then he's revealed some new things to me concerning Elijah, so I just want to read my notes and read some verses, and hopefully you'll be able to understand. If it's meant for you to see, you're gonna see. So, alright. The prophet spoke of the one to come. Daniel 9:25 through 27. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Alright, so those verses are speaking of the one to come. He's called the Messiah here. And it's interesting because the word for the Messiah here is Mashiach. And it's the only place that it says Messiah for this word. Everywhere else in the Old Testament, it says anointed for this word. But here it's the Messiah. And I'm gonna go into that and what the Most High showed me concerning that. But let's read some more verses speaking of the one to come. Of course, you have Isaiah 53, the suffering servant, that links with Daniel 9. I'm going to read some of those. Hold on. Alright, so Isaiah 53, I'm going to read verse 2. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Surely he hath borne our griefs, and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. That was verses 4 and 5. I'm going to read verse 6. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. Verse 8. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. Verse 11. He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. Verse 12. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for transgressors. So I feel those verses link with Daniel 9:25 through 27, specifically verse 27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. It seemed like he was going to bring back order. And by his sacrifice, he would cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease, because he would be like the ultimate sacrifice. So you have these prophets prophesying of the one to come. And then in the last book of the Old Testament, after these prophecies, Malachi chapter 4, the last verses 5 through 6, we get a name of somebody being sent. Malachi 4, 5 through 6. Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. So, was the Most High sending 2 separate people? Or is this all about the same person being sent? I'm seeing that it was all leading up to with the Most High revealing the name of the one that they were speaking about. Because right after Malachi come the Gospels of the one that came. So you have the prophecies telling of his coming, and the Most High give us a name, and then you have the Gospels. I don't think that's coincidence. I think that's reality. And then you have the Gospels where the one that came hints at being Elias, which is the Greek word as Elijah. So, I'm going to read some verses of him hinting at being Elijah. And this anointed person that came, you know, he's even written of in other records outside of the Bible, in other nations' history accounts outside of the Bible. So he came, he was here, he had followers, he was famous throughout the earth. But we just need to find out who he really was, and you're going to understand why they hid him, why they couldn't reveal that he was Elijah. The Most High said what he was coming for, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and children's hearts to the fathers, lest he smite the earth with a curse. So basically he was going to bring order. And to me, that links back to Daniel. He was going to confirm the covenant. And put a cease to the sacrifice and oblation by being a suffering servant. And his people having a way to atone for sins through his sacrifice. All right, so we're going to read Matthew 11 and 10. For this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. Oh, that's verse 13. Verse 14. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. So, let me read that again. This is verses 10 and then 13 through 15. For this is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. This is Elias. So if he's saying that all the prophets prophesied until John, I gotta revert back to Isaiah 53 and then Daniel 9 and then Malachi 4. Right? This is all the same person, and he said this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Okay, so now I'm going to read Matthew chapter 17, verses 11 through 13. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. Alright, so my thing with this is I don't subscribe or believe in the Son of God. So right then and there, I know that that line was added. So what I see is, but I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. So when you think about that, it's similar to what he said in Matthew 11, verses 14 through 15. He was kind of hinting at them like who he was. They understood it to be John the Baptist. But I'm about to read some verses on John the Baptist actually saying he was not Elias. So guess what? They didn't have ears to hear. At that time, those that understood him to be John the Baptist. Yes, they believed him to be the one sent and the anointed. But the thing was, who was he in spirit though? If he said he that hath ears to hear, let him hear, that means some people wasn't gonna really understand who he was. And it brings me now to think of whenever he would be like, I have been with you this long and you still don't know who I am. He would ask them that, like, you know, some people just didn't see who he really was. Okay, so let's go to John 1 and 19 through 25. John 1 and 19 through 25. And this is the record of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who art thou?" And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, "I am not the Christ." And they asked him, "What then? Art thou Elias?" And he saith, "I am not." "Art thou that prophet?" And he answered, "No." Verse 22. Then said they unto him, "Who art thou, that we may give an answer to them that sent us? What sayest thou of thyself?" He said, "I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord, as said the prophet Esaias," which is Isaiah. And they which were sent were of the Pharisees. And they asked him and said unto him, "Why baptize thou then, if thou be not the Christ, nor Elias, neither that prophet?" So he told them he wasn't the Messiah that Daniel spoke of, Elijah that the Most High said he was going to send. Or shall I say, the Anointed, because Christ and Messiah translates, it means anointed. And neither that prophet. I'm thinking that prophet that's like unto Moses. Even they didn't understand, it seemed like. But my point is, John said he was not Elias. So I gotta revert back to Matthew 11, 14 and 15. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias which was for to come. This is Elias which was for to come.